Hi, Lori. How are you today? I'm good. I'm hoping that YouTube doesn't hate me this time. It has ended my stream like 4 times now. I am making a modified. I'm doing the Giving Sisters by Not Forgotten Farms, but I'm only stitching the witches and the cauldron, and I'm doing it in a silhouette. So I'm doing it all in black rather than the, I think, 15 colors it calls for. I figured it was time for some spooky stitching since it's October. Are you stitching today, Lori, or are you just jumping on to see what's happening, or are you doing that ugly adult word called working? Do some Halloween today? What kind of Halloween patterns do you have? Are you into like the scary or the cutesy Halloween? The cute Halloween? I have some really cute Halloween patterns. I have a lot of patterns. I just don't have all the time to stitch them all. I wish I had more time in the day. I don't know how I could get it. I don't know where to find it, but or maybe if I could just stitch faster. There's her head. You have to work on Christmas. My daughter broke her ankle yesterday. So, oh no. I have never broken a bone. Knock on wood. Like, I have a pain tolerance for certain things, but like breaking a bone, I feel like I couldn't deal. I am like the worst. I'd be like a man with a man cold. I'd be like, I can't do anything. Wait on me, hand and foot. Are you gonna work on a Christmas pattern or a Christmas gift? Struggling over here to get this thread how I want it. Nice. I was just saying before YouTube cut me off earlier with this is like take number 4. And I was just saying to someone else that I can't give myself a deadline like that because it stresses me out and makes me not want to stitch at all. If I give myself a deadline, say it's got to be done for this person's Christmas gift, I end up not liking stitching on that pattern. So then I'm like, not gonna stitch it. If I get something done that I am stitching for someone, say this was a gift for my sister or something, if I got it done in time to give it to her for Christmas or her birthday, then I call that a win. But if I sat down and I was like, all right, I'm going to have this pattern done by Halloween, then I would have all the things come up. Like, it would just be one thing after another pop up that I had to do that would keep me from stitching, or I would end up not liking this pattern anymore or something like that. That's just my luck. So I don't do deadlines. I tried to do some challenges and I ended up feeling like it was a chore to stitch. I like to stitch while my son's at school. So I don't know, it's kind of like a getaway for me rather than a I have to get it done by this day, or I have to do this many stitches or something like that. I don't like to do that to myself. It's supposed to be relaxing and meditative rather than give me anxiety. Sorry, I don't have the fancy setup where you can see me stitching. You can see the back of my work, I guess. I don't have the phone set up and all that. I just decided to check out how this live was gonna work. I might do a scheduled live or something. one day. I don't know. Right, I agree, Lori. When sometimes when you watch Stitch with Me's and you're staring at their fabric and it's just a voice behind the camera, I feel like it's a little impersonal. Um, I understand if you're giving like a tutorial or something. That way you can see the stitches and stuff, but I am not really one to come to for a tutorial. I don't know if I could explain things good enough. Um, I'm not that experienced of a stitcher. I've been stitching for about 10 years, but two cams when you do, yeah. That's what I was saying earlier is maybe I'll get another like a stand or something, but I don't feel like these lives are something that I would do consistently enough to justify putting more money into it unless people enjoy doing these with me. Um, most of the time when other people can get on a live is in the evenings or the weekends. Well, with having a younger son, evenings and weekends are not the time for me. I'm busy in those times, so I can't really do a live because you might see Nerf bullets flying all over the place and dinosaurs coming across the screen, and you probably wouldn't even hear me talking half the time with him running around. He gets to be quite rambunctious. Trying to decide if I want to do these things that the witches are holding in black and stick with the silhouette, or do I want to do a specialty thread to kind of make them pop? See, they're holding a pumpkin and I guess an owl maybe. And I was thinking about doing like a sparkly specialty thread for the bubbles. I don't know, what do you guys think for the pumpkin and the owl? Should I stick with the silhouette theme or should I go with a color? It's charted to be orange and brown, and I think their dresses are actually charted to be like a greenish color. I don't know what I want to do. I guess I just won't stitch that part until I decide. I'm not one to frog, so I'll put it off until later until I decide. I think I'm just gonna do the dress. I think I'm just gonna stick with the silhouette, the black, um, and just have maybe a pop of color for the pumpkin and the owl. Um, I don't want to take away from the fabric too much. I feel like if I do too much color, it's going to take away from the fabric and make the fabric um, make, well, not just the fabric, the whole piece too busy. I'll be right back. 1 second. Yeah. That's weird. For a Monday? Alright. Bye. Sorry. Had a phone call and I didn't think you'd want to sit in on it. Oh, yeah, Ashley. It's not from you calling me. Never call me anymore. Don't call me. I had a feeling you were gonna go and call me as soon as I said something. Bye, Ashley. Sometimes I like working with just one color because it goes by fast. You don't have to worry about changing the color and everything. Maybe I should stitch something Christmassy, that way I feel like it's cooler outside and starting to cool off. I just really want winter time, so I'm like trying to get the vibes flowing. Maybe the weather will start changing if I start putting Christmas decorations up. Hmm. I feel like I need like some background music or something. I don't ever know what to talk about. I feel like there's like elevator music in my head. Ashley told me I was talking to myself earlier. I said, at least someone's typing back to me. Technically, it's not talking to myself. I'm gonna finish this string and then I'm gonna be off for the day. Maybe I'll at least get. I might get her torso done. I doubt it. My back is looking just as neat as the front. That's shocking for me. Hi, Zan. I see you on Kaylee's live all the time. Thanks. This is take number, I think, 4 for this live. I just found out I can do live, so I figured I would try it out before I go and schedule one. I would hate to schedule one and then not know how to work it, you know what I mean? How is it pronounced? Is it Zon? I'm probably not even close. Zon or Zan? It probably just sounds different because of my accent too. And Zan. Okay. I have a mixed accent as well. I I was born and raised in Wyoming and they don't really have much of an accent. Movie. I I don't have much of an accent from Wyoming, but then I moved down here to Louisiana, and so some things I say with a southern accent, and some things I say with my up north accent, as they call it. Um, Up north, they in Wyoming they pronunciate very articulately. So then you come down here to the south, and they're like skipping letters and syllables to words, and it's a whole different world, whole different accent. So, well, I'm glad to have everybody here. I just trying to figure out how to do this live thing. Apparently, I speak like the queen. Where are you from, Zan? I love the British accent, and just I have a bunch of friends that live over in UK, and um, when they talk, I love just listen. They could read me the dictionary or the phone book, and I would listen. In Blood Diamond. Oh, okay. My husband loves that movie. South Africa. Cool. Very cool. Where's everybody else from? Is it hot there, Zan? I know that stereotypically Africa is hot. Summers can get hot. Lori, who called you a nobody? You're not a nobody. There's the witch's head. Washington State. Ooh, Washington is beautiful. This is what I'm stitching. I'm doing it in silhouette, so I'm just doing the witches and the cauldron. Trying to decide what I'm going to do for the owl and the pumpkin, if I want to do it in color, specialty thread, or do it black. I'm doing this as a silhouette on this fabric. Do it all in black. That's kind of what I was thinking. I don't really want to take away from the fabric because it's a beautiful fabric, but I'm thinking the bubbles coming out of the cauldron need to be like sparkly of some sort for some reason. My heart is telling me sparkly. I'm not really a sparkly kind of person, but my heart says sparkly for the bubbles. Oh, which arm? This arm? It's a stopwatch with what time my son was born. Then I have a rose for each one of my boys. I have 2 stepsons. I call them my bonus boys. This anchor is for my husband because he's my anchor. My sunflowers from my wedding. So yeah, that's that arm. This arm has tattoos as well. It says I've lived 1,000 lives, and it's got books. Do the bubbles with some bling. Maybe like some beads would look cool even, instead of just some sparkly thread. Maybe like some bubble beads. Do they make those? Some bubble beads would look pretty cool coming out of that cauldron. Yes, every one of my tattoos have meanings, and I have a tattoo on my back as well. It's quite large. I did some beading with some Mill Hill designs, and ever since then I'm like, what can I throw a bead on now? I'm open to beading 100%. I would bead just about anything now. I feel comfortable with it. Ever since I did the Mill Hill patterns. Not saying I'm a professional or anything, but I would feel comfortable adding something onto a pattern. Chatelaine. You know, I like them, but chatelaines are really, really stitch intensive, and I'm not huge on like specialty stitches as far as like French knots and half stitches and quarter stitches. Like that's just not really my jam. Um, Mill Hill, yes, and Mill Hills are. I got addicted to them when my friend, the Stitching Penguin, there she is popping in again. Ashley got me started on Mill Hill kits, so I did a little barn, and then I'm doing one called Joe's Garage. They're fun. I've done a couple little ornament sized ones as well. See, chatelaines are just like, I don't know if they're really my style. Ashley, are you on lunch break now? Oh my gosh, stop with the sows, Ashley. You guys already got me to sow so many things. I'm more of a start along because you know how I am. I'm gonna stitch it for a little while and then I'm gonna move on to something else when I start something else. Then I'm gonna be addicted to that for a little while. Stalking the whole game. Yes, Anne, do a floss tube. Ashley talked me into it. She talks me into a lot of things, it sounds like. Ashley, are you my muse? You keep talking me into sows and floss tube and starting things. You're not going to talk me into the Shadowlane. You would have to find one that I absolutely love because I don't know. Zan, it doesn't have to be a regular floss tube. Sometimes I do every other week, sometimes I do one every week. I've seen people that do it like just once every like 6 months or just whenever they feel like it. You gonna go on a mission, Ashley? You're gonna find one. And I'm gonna become obsessed with it. Just watch what I say. Marina, I love finding new floss tubers because when I find a floss tuber, I watch all their previous videos, and so finding a new one, I'm like, oh, I don't have to go back and watch 50 videos. I don't feel right if I don't watch all their old videos, so. A white African who doesn't live with lions and elephants. Do it. Break the stereotype. I always watch their most recent one first, and then I go back and watch from the first one. Yes, talk about them shipping prices. I complain about the shipping prices just like to the UK and from the UK. Like I couldn't imagine to South Africa. The shipping price. How do you even? I don't know how anybody affords to ship anything anymore. South Africa's way worse than the UK as far as shipping prices. Oh yeah, the currency exchange. I don't know much about it. I just know that sometimes we come out on the better side and sometimes we're on the worse side. Yeah, exchange rates. Good old China, huh? There's a kit that I want, but it's from over in Europe somewhere. But it's like $100 just to buy the kit, and then you have to pay for like 50 something dollars shipping. And oh, I bet it's beautiful there, Zan. Yo, my phone is blowing up. Nobody wants to call me until I am busy. Zan, you're doing the Brooks Books calendar? I would rather just stick with winter. I just, I like the cold. That calendar, man alive. I was all gung ho, and I was like, I'm gonna do 1 day per day of May, and that was gonna be my mania. And I totally underestimated how many stitches and how many colors in each day on that thing. It was insane. Ashley, do you know all the things about all the people? You're so knowledgeable about what people are stitching. I can't hardly remember all of my whips. I'm a process stitcher, Zan. I like the process of it coming to life. Like with this witch right now, I'm watching it. Like the further I get down, I can actually see her face, and I can see I'm getting into her torso, and you can remember things but not the names. Yeah, you're like that one person with the face, you know? I like to finish things too, but I like to finish stitching something. I'm not good with fully finishing something. I get overwhelmed. I have an idea of what I want it to look like in my head, and I can't get it to look like that. Hi, Rogue Mama Stitcher. Doing an extreme cross country, Barina? I can barely do like cross country by page, let alone extreme cross country. Ooh, I like the Transpride tapestry. I seen, who did I see stitch that? Ashley. Who stitched that I seen on their floss tube? Hade Supersize Max Color. You are a brave soul. I'm doing a regular, and it's driving me nuts with the confetti. I can do a little bit at a time, and then I'm like, all right, I need a solid block of color. Hence the silhouette. Is it D who did it, Ashley? Vanessa, yeah. Yeah, I even did gridding on my one of my Hades one time, and it's a regular. And I was gonna try to do cross country by page, and I miscounted somewhere, and it took me forever to find out where I miscounted, and I ended up just fudging it. Yeah, D designed it. Right. Every bit was awesome. Yeah. I don't even know if I could maybe do it. I could maybe do like cross country by like row, I guess. I don't know. That's very ambitious. I try to just. I think the most cross country that I do is I start with a color on my needle and go until it's gone, and then I'm like right back up to this block that I can work off of. A lot of the times I'm doing something else while I'm stitching, so counting is not my forte. And I couldn't imagine getting a big chunk done and then realizing that I was off somewhere and I completely like messed up the entire pattern because you can't fudge it or something. That's what I'm scared of with a cross country. I'm surprised it hasn't kicked me off again. It only let me go like 10 minutes earlier and then it kicked me off. Stop stitching long enough to finish some quilts. Yeah. My sewing machine's broke, so sewing right now is on hold until I can get a new sewing machine. The guy that fixes sewing machines that I take it to normally, he told me that there is no fixing my machine, so I have to save up for a new one. Oh, it's been all over the place, Rogue Mama Stitcher. I don't know what kind I want to get next. My mom has always used Bernina. I know they cost a ton. Um, and she used to have a business, sewing and tailoring clothes and such. And so she could write it off on her taxes when she had that business. But I want to save up and get a Bernina, but that's gonna take a while. I think my next favorite is Brother. I have a Brother Serger right now, and I like Brother, so I might just go and get a smaller machine for now. Yeah, I know. I ended up getting this cheap little Brother Serger, and I absolutely love it. It's been the best serger that I've had. I do like quilts, and I like to make my son, he loves the fun pajama pants, and so I like to make pajama pants, and um, baby blankets are fun for me. I don't know, just anything that I can find. I like to look on Pinterest and find patterns and try to recreate things that I find on Pinterest. You want pajama pants, Ashley? I have to get a new machine first. I would totally make you some pajama pants. We need to tell Katrina to figure out how much it'd cost to send me one of her 1,000 machines, and I would totally just take one off of her hands. No, Barina, I'm not drinking coffee, surprisingly. It's actually water. I actually have water. I know water doesn't go into my system very often unless it's ran through some coffee beans. Shocking, I know. I've had like 4 cups of coffee this morning. Ashley, I think I'm gonna have to go find some fabric and make you some pants. Just because, now you're motivating me to go get my new machine. But the problem with that, if I go get my new sewing machine, my cross stitch stuff might be neglected for a little while until I can get that out of my system. Because I have a blanket up there that's like half started. I want one of those cool embroidery machines where you can get the computer program for it. Basically, embroider anything you can do on graphic design. Those are cool. My mom has one of those. I do. I have to get it out of my system. I haven't sewn in so long because my machine's been broken for so long. All right, Barina. Have a good afternoon or morning, whatever it is for you. Those embroidery machines. My mom did some cool stuff when I was growing up. She'd always hook us up with the cool things on our clothes, and everybody else asked where we got them, and then we'd be bringing everybody's clothes home with us from school, saying, "Mom, will you do this for our friend?" See, and it just kind of depends on the day for me, Zan. Some days I'm like, I just want to stitch, and some days I'm like, I don't really want to stitch. I want to crochet, or I have a diamond painting upstairs that I have started that I haven't finished. I've got paint by number that I haven't finished. It just kind of depends on my mood that day. And now I feel obligated, since I started a floss tube, that I have to stitch. Make some decent progress. At least visible progress. Not even technically decent progress, just visible. If I can get like a little bit of visible progress. I call that a win for each floss tube. We're just gonna finish highlighting all that. Honestly, Zan, though, like, some of my projects, you can't even see what I've done. But if I work on it, I write it down on my little notebook. That way, when I do end up having enough progress on something that, like this, I'll show my next floss tube, I'll show this. Because when I first started this today, I only had that much. And so just doing this much, I'm like, all right, that's enough progress that I'll show this. If I put 100 stitches in it, yeah, there's people that do all sorts of stuff. They do quilting and all that in their floss tube, and just do like the cross stitch at the beginning. Yeah, you could do a vlog style like Heather Confetti Stitcher does. I added some crochet into my video that I recorded this morning. It's nice to see other people that, you might find someone else that has a similar style of doing things that you do, and then you can find them on Instagram or Facebook or. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna do this string, and then I'm gonna be done with this for a while. I have to go do household things before my son gets out of school. I could probably get her torso and her arm done with this length here. Bye, Ashley. Have a good afternoon at work. Bath time here. Alright, Zan. You have a good evening. Thanks for joining me. Talk about my son is at school and it is quiet in my house. Didn't mean to jinx you, sorry. I need to go watch your video. He's fine. I ramble because I get nervous. I feel like I'm not interesting enough, and so I just start rambling. I'm like, all right, people are probably getting bored. I'm just gonna ramble about something real quick, and then probably said the same thing 4 times, and I'm like, "Oh, well, upload." It makes me feel less self-conscious about it if I see other people rambling in their videos, I guess. This is turning out way cooler than I thought it was going to. I had this idea in my head, and I was like, I wonder if it's gonna look alright. And I was looking for a pattern in my stash to do this silhouette, but I'm glad I decided to do this one. I I didn't understand why this one had so many colors charted for it. I guess, I mean, it is an older pattern and it's supposed to look primitive, but the charted colors, I just wasn't feeling it. So I was like, well, this is a way to at least use the pattern. Um, I can at least stitch it that way because I like the pattern. I just didn't like the colors. I didn't want to have to try to figure out, rechart all the colors because I'm not good with that. So I'm glad I decided to do this silhouette. I feel like I need to find background music or something if I'm gonna keep doing lives. I feel like you guys can hear like all the creaks and stuff in my house. Yeah, this is what I've got done. The fabric is a Bestitch Me fabric. She has a Facebook page. She does all hand dyed fabrics and stuff. But that's what I got done. It's gonna look like this eventually, except for I'm not doing all this around the edge. I'm just doing the witch, the cauldron, and the witch. So, yeah, it's coming together fast. I mean, doing all black, you don't have to worry about changing the thread and ending the thread and then starting a new thread, and you don't struggle as much. Well, I don't struggle as much. I got this fabric from Friday Night Fight Night on Bestitch Me Facebook. Um, every now and then she does these. She calls it Friday Night Fight Night, and I don't know if you've heard of it. She uploads fabrics, and whoever comments on it first gets to buy the fabric. But it's first come, first serve, and I think it's like to clear out her stock. So I got this one, and have a. It's like supposed to be red and blue, but it looks more pink and blue to me. And it's got the opalescent sparkle. I need to I need to find a pattern for that one. I got it because I thought it was red and blue, but like I said, it looks more pink and blue, like a cotton candy look with sparkles in it. Yes, go join her Facebook. She's got some amazing fabrics, and they're really decently priced. Um, I'm cheap, so if I buy them, then they're pretty decent in price. Ashley's trying to convince me to start a chatelaine. Maybe a chatelaine would look really cool on that fabric, that pink and blue. I don't know. I'm not really a pink and sparkly type of person, but I'll find some use for it somewhere, somehow. Uh, Sometimes these three strands just start getting thick in certain spots, and you can tell my tension changes. Not on purpose, of course. I don't think I'm going to tackle her arm today. I think I'm going to save that for the next time I work on this. Hmm. Get back across this row, and then I'm going to go do my housely chores and stuff. I have to adult for a little while today. Well, I got her torso done anyways. There you go. She's almost done. There's her torso, and then I just have to do the bottom of her dress right here. And then her hand comes out, and I gotta make a decision on what the pumpkin's gonna be in. So I think that's gonna look pretty cool on this fabric. It'll be about this big. Yeah. Thanks for joining my live. Thanks for letting me figure out how to do live. And I will see everybody soon. Bye.